Hey, what is up guys? Remember this choke point in the current Grandmaster that so many people struggle with? Well, with this build you will be able to solo it without having to run all the way back. Today I'm showing you a Grandmaster build that I have been recently playing on my Hunter. This build will allow you to pull some insane damage numbers with your primary weapons, and most importantly, it allows you to use any weapons you want, meaning you're not locked to a specific loadout and can always adapt this build to better suit your playstyle. For me, personally, that's what makes a great Grandmaster build. For example, in this run, I was using Lemon Narc because of the Void Burn, which when combined with all the other buffs gave me a 130% damage increase for free, and I didn't even have to pick up any shards or get close to the enemies. Now, before I explain to you guys how the whole build works, I'm very excited to announce today's video sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends, a completely free-to-play RPG style game that you can download now on your mobile device or even play on your computer. I mean, just take a look at these outstanding graphics with all the detail they have put into every single champion. Raid's got a ton of cool events coming up this month. There is Forge Pass Season 7, various Valentine Day activities, and even some Valentine themed champions. And if I had to choose my top 3 Valentine champions, I would go for Temptress, Juliana and Yumiko. If you log in right now, you can also participate in the Champions Elect event. All you have to do is download Raid Shadow Legends from the links below, copy your in-game player ID, then go to championselect.polarium.com. Simply enter your player ID and then vote for your chosen champion. This vote runs from January 16th to February 10th, with the opportunity to win awesome in-game and real-life prizes, including epic and legendary champions, in-game items, and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. Only new players from US can win a prize. If you're an existing Raid player, just head to championselect.polarium.com, where you can find a special promo code for a small in-game prize. You also have until February 20th to get Ronda Rousey in game, and all you have to do is log in 7 consecutive days in a row. Finally, if you haven't started playing Raid yet, then click on the link in the description or scan my QR code and you will get unique bonuses worth $30. We are talking a free epic Chunru, 200,000 silver, 1 EXP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 epic skill tome. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Available for 30 days to new players only. Thanks a lot to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video, and make sure to check them out. Okay, back to the build. First of all, we have Whisper of Rending, which increases the damage of our primary weapons by a whopping 40% when a target is frozen. Next up we have High Energy Fire for a 20% damage increase when charged with light. Mask of Bakris for a 10% damage increase when the target is slowed or frozen, and another 10% if you're using arc weapons. And finally, we also have the burn of the activity, which is 25%, and in this case it was Void. If you are using legendary weapons with damage perks, then you can also add that on top. When it comes to Mask of Bakris, remember that you need to use your dodge in order to get the damage increase. Slowing and freezing targets is extremely easy with this build, as both your grenade and your melee are capable of that, meaning you will be taking advantage of the exotic quite often. To get our dodge back relatively fast without investing any point into mobility, we are going to be using the fragment Whisper of Refraction that grants us class ability energy whenever we defeat slowed or frozen targets. It actually gives a really good amount of energy and is a very underrated fragment. To constantly keep proccing Whisper of Rending, we are going to be freezing enemies with our grenades. The way we are going to be getting our grenade back is thanks to Whisper of Shards, which boosts our grenade recharge rate when we destroy a stasis crystal. In fact, you will get your whole grenade back just as the first one is expiring thanks to this fragment alone and 100 discipline. Finally, the thing I like the most about this build is that it allows you to very easily maintain stacks of high energy fire, as we'll be getting them left and right when slaying enemies. Alright, now let's get straight into the aspects, fragments and mods. Stat-wise, we are going to be sticking with Resilience, followed by Discipline, and then as much recovery as you can get. Aspect wise, we are going to be starting with Touch of Winter, which is basically going to improve our grenade by making the slowing field bigger and also adding a stasis crystal in the middle. Next up we have Grim Harvest, which is going to make those stasis shards whenever we defeat slowed or frozen combatants. We are going to use those to become charged with light, and they also provide us with melee energy. Moving on to the fragments, we have Whisper of Rending, which is going to give us that 40% damage increase to our primary weapons when shooting at frozen targets. Then we have Whisper of Durance, which is going to increase the duration of our dust field grenade. Next up we have Whisper of Shards, which increases our grenade ability regen whenever we destroy a stasis crystal. Then we have Whisper of Refraction, that gives us class ability energy when we defeat slowed or frozen targets. And finally we have Whisper of Fissures, that increases the damage and size of the stasis burst when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. Now if you want to swap out Whisper of Fissures for something like Whisper of Chains or even Whisper of Rime, then go ahead, because those two are perfectly viable. Moving on to our mods, we are going to be starting off with our helmet, and we are using Stack on Stacks. This basically doubles the amount of stacks we get whenever we become charged with light. On our gauntlets, we are using Charge Harvester, and this gives you a small chance of becoming charged with light every time you get a kill. Now, this usually averages to around 5 kills in order to become charged with light. Next up, on our chestplate, we are going to be using High Energy Fire for that 20% damage boost to all of our weapons when we are charged with light. On our boots, we are going to be using another way of becoming charged with light. For example, because I was using bows, I had Precision Charge on. However, what I also like to use when dealing with champions is Counter Charge, because this is going to give you 2 stacks of charge with light every time you stun a champion, which happens all the time in Grandmasters or any activity with champions. And finally, on our cloak, we are using Supercharged, which is going to give us 2 additional stacks of charge with light, meaning that now we can have a maximum of 4 stacks of charge with light. I'm also pairing this up with double bomber mods, just to get my grenade a bit faster in case I need it. However, you can swap these out for stuff like Lucent Finisher or any of the champion stunning mods. Now, if you want to go the elemental shards way, where you pick up elemental shards in order to become charged with light, all you have to do is swap out Charge Harvester and your second Charge with Light mod with Elemental Charge and Elemental Shards. This will give you 4 stacks of Charge with Light every time you pick up an Elemental Shard. Weapon wise, there's nothing much I can really recommend you guys, because in this build you can use any weapons you want. However, hard hitting weapons like Le Monarch or Fighting Lion are excellent options for this build, because we are using Whisper of Rending. The way you play this build is very simple. All you have to do is throw down your grenade at a group of enemies and then wipe them from existence. This will most likely make you charge with light and activate High Energy Fire, which will further boost the damage you deal with all your weapons. Don't forget to spam your dodge to make as much use of Mask of Bakris as possible. And also remember that your first melee slows and your second one freezes. Finally, this build is capable of melting bosses and champions, because our heavy weapons will also be getting quite the damage increase. So don't be afraid to use this build in raids. If you have any questions, then feel free to join my Discord server, where you can message me anytime. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.